Tonight's Big Sky Conference football game is brought to you by Lucky Lil's and Magic Diamond Casinos, a division of Town Pump across Montana. And the Montana Wood Products Association, supporting healthy forests and healthy communities.
Welcome back. We are just about ready for the second half. Wanted to remind you about something. KPAX and the MTN Network has teamed up with the Corporate Technology Group, formerly Computerland, to bring this game to Grizz fans around the world via the internet. Log on to kpax.com, click on the Grizzly logo to connect live with this online net event. Just another way to enjoy some Grizzly action. We're pleased to be able to bring that to you with the latest technology. We are just about ready. The Grizzlies had a great first half, and they've got a 10-point lead. They will be kicking off to Portland State, and Portland State will have to go into the wind for the third quarter. Have an interesting choice.
Well, it's a big advantage for them in the fourth quarter, and I'm sure that's why Coach Walsh is happy to have the wind at his back here in the fourth quarter. You know, he's an excellent coach, and I'd really like to have been in the locker room to hear what he would have said to his team, because this is the game for them. If they lose this, they will not probably win the Big Sky Conference Championship, and they'll fall probably further in the rankings. So this is a huge game for, both teams. But we'll see what kind of adjustments they're going to make. I think they're going to have to throw the ball to win the game.
Snyder to kick off. Kicks this one deep into the end zone. Schwante Bryant's going to down it there, and they will start at the 20-yard line. And you're absolutely right about that. I mean, whoever loses this, they're going to have a real uphill climb to try to win the Big Sky Conference. We'll take a look at some of the high school scores. Lewistown really puts a hurting on Big Fork in the Class A playoffs. Haver beats Whitefish in overtime. That must have been a fantastic game. Dillon beats Miles City. Dillon, the number 1 ranked team in Class A, they escape beating Miles City. And Frenchtown, well, they do what they always do. They shut out Superior, beating them 48-0, only allowing 1 offensive touchdown this entire year. Blanchard back to throw. Outdoor Schwante Bryant gets a couple of yards, but not much more than that. And getting back to my point earlier, not only would a loss here hurt either team's chances of winning the Big Sky Conference, but it also puts their playoff hopes in jeopardy a little bit. Both are ranked high enough. They should be able to make the playoffs anyway, but still, you don't want to leave it in the hands of the voters. You'd like to take care of business yourself.
Especially if the opportunity to host that first-round game.
2nd down and 7 now from the 23-yard line. Blanchard hands it off to Dunn. Absolutely nothing there, so the defense picking up right where they left off. They stopped Chip Dunn, maybe a yard on the play. Hit made by Vince Huntsberger. Yeah,
a little trap inside, and Montana fills the trap lanes very well, resulting in really no yards. I guess he got a couple, but that's just what a great back he is. But watch here as the guards try to pull and create a seam, but Montana fills those seams very well.
Not much there. The defensive line of the Grizzlies continuing to play very well. Brings up a 3rd down and 6. Blanchard back to throw, looking for Charles. And Terry Charles just kind of quit on the play, asking for a flag early. Never got it. Falls incomplete.
I think he was kind of showing his coach, too, that they had the wrong route run. They weren't on the same page. Jim Blanchard thought his receiver was going to go deep, and the receiver cut it off a little hook pattern. Actually came over and talked to him there, said, hey, I thought you were going to throw it short.
So that's big. Portland State, they get the ball, but they're going to have to give it right up, 3 and out for the Montana defense. Michael Westbrook back deep to receive this kick. That'll go in the wind. France gets it off. Westbrook calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 46-yard line. Great field position for the Grizzlies to start the second half. Now, if they can get some points on the board, it could set the tone for the entire second half.
Yeah, and again, with the wind the way it is, you'd want to try to use it to your advantage, because in the fourth quarter it'd be a big hindrance going into it.
John Edwards over 160 yards passing today. Of course, the big bulk of them came on 2 plays to Jimmy Ferris. Do you expect to see a lot of Johansi Humphrey running the ball in this half?
Yeah, I believe that they'll go back to their game plan, which is run the ball.
They do hand it to Yo. He's got a big crease. Works his way up, close to a first down. He's going to be, well, he got a pretty good spot, so he's going to be real close. They may have to measure.
Those kind of runs will set up your passing as well as anything, because the defense will try to adjust to the run, and, of course, that'll make a big play of opportunity possible for the pass.
Now, of course, more offensive. That did give them the first down, gain of 10. First down for the Grizzlies. A lot of the offensive linemen who were hurt last week still back, but still a couple young guys in there. As you see, 77, John Skinner, 72, Dylan McFarland, the two young guys in there, and they've played awfully well. First down and 10. Edwards in the shotgun. Johansi Humphrey in the backfield. Edwards gives it to Yo on a little delay, almost gets taken down in the backfield, but then has some room. Gets about 8 yards on the play, and that's just, I mean, what more do we say? He's great.
Yeah, and it was a nice call. That time they're in shotgun. The defense thinks you're going to throw the ball, and they run away from it as if it's a sweep to the outside, and then they tuck underneath with a little draw, and then Yo does the rest.
The only guy who really had a chance was Brad Ransom early in that play. Ran right by him on the little misdirection. Brings up second down and 2 after the gain of 8. Humphrey staying in the game in the backfield. Edwards to throw. Looking for his man, John Fitzgerald. He has it, the big tight end, rumbling. Almost breaks out of that, but still plenty, more than he needs for the first down inside the 30-yard line of the Vikings.
Grizzlies looking very confident on this drive. As you mentioned, they put the defense on the field. They go 3 and out, and then now the offense is marching right down the field with great play selection.
Edwards, and that's a nice, easy throw for him. John Fitzgerald, tough guy to tackle. First down and 10, the 33-yard line. Edwards hands it to Yo. Yo gets tripped up a little bit. He's a little frustrated. He knew he had a hole if he was able to get past that, but falls down after a gain of 1.
The Montana front, as you mentioned a second ago, just doing an excellent job. They're getting great push. Coach Germer's done a nice job with them as far as keeping the blocking scheme working. They've had a few holding calls. I'm sure they talked about that at halftime. But nice line surge on that series.
Brings up second down and 10. Grizzlies looking to increase their lead, up 24-14. Molden in motion. Fitzgerald. Edwards throwing it out to Johansi Humphrey. Can't come up with it. He had a little bit of room, but that's going to bring up third down and 10 now.
Yeah, defense closed pretty quickly on that. Even if he'd have caught it, there wasn't much room for positive yardage for Montana on that play.
John Edwards getting pressured up the middle by Chris Kane, who leads the Vikings, coming into the game, led the Vikings in sacks. That now, though, probably going to D'Angelo Hunter. He's got 2 in this one, so that gives him 5 for the season. Third down and 10. The crowd getting into it, trying to help their defense. Edwards dropping back. He's got time. Going deep into the corner, just overthrown. Falls incomplete, looking for Atu Molden.
Well, looks like they'll come in and try a field goal, and the wind will help here. But it is blowing hard enough that it could steer the ball outside the goalpost as well.
And this is one where maybe the wind played a factor, just kind of taking that one and overthrown. So Chris Snyder, after making a 52-yard attempt, this one a little bit shorter. And Chris Snyder is perfect. He nails that one right through the uprights with a lot of power. 45 yards out, and that increases the Grizzly lead. They now lead the Vikings by a score of 27-14, 11:50 left in the third quarter. Welcome back. 11:50 left in the third quarter. Montana up 27-14. And Portland State about to go back on offense. And right now, their confidence may be shaken a little bit. They only scored 9 points last week as they got blown out by Weber State. And their offense has only put 7 of their 14 points on the board here today.
Yeah, but I just got to think, they're a great team. They'll find a way to come back and make this interesting, I'm sure of it.
Well, a lot of people, I'm sure, hoping you're wrong back in Montana, but we'll see. They are a great team. Snyder kicks it deep. Bryant's going to bring this one out. And not a good decision by him trying to make a big play as he's only able to get it out to about the 15-yard line. Good coverage there by the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I think trying to make something happen, you never know on a kickoff. Montana's had a few of those returned for touchdowns, so even though he was deep in his own end zone, wanted to gamble a little bit. It didn't pay off on that play.
So the defense now being counted on once again to put up a big stop against the Vikings and perhaps give the Grizzlies good field position. 1st and 10, though. Chip Dunn in the backfield. Blanchard, low play action, getting pressured by Andy Pedic. Throws, has his man, Tim Hester, for a first down.
Well, that was a result of an adjustment, Grayson. That's exactly what the coaches diagram. They fake a play action. And again, I think sensing some frustration that the running game is not going to be allowed. And they roll out, and Jimmy fires a strike for a nice completion and a first down.
Well thrown ball. Matt Steinow was there, almost tipped that, but well thrown, brings up a first down and 10 at the 33. They give it to Dunn. Able to get a little bit of room, about 3, maybe 4 yards on the play. Well, they're more positive runs on first down.
Yeah, again, a lot of white jerseys in the picture as it develops, and it just kind of closes in from tackle to tackle.
He gets 5 yards on the play. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 5. As the Grizzlies try to hold on to this 27-14 lead. Terry Charles up to the top of your screen. Ashwante Bryant. Blanchard handing it off to Dunn again, who has his leg grabbed. Otherwise, he gets the first down. But right there, as you can see, Adam Boomer had a leg and wasn't going to let go.
Yeah, Boomer's used to making those clutch tackles, and that time he got a hold of his foot and wouldn't let go of it.
So we take another look. With one hand, that really shows some pretty tremendous strength there by Adam Boomer. One hand able to bring him down. Dunn has had some problems with his lower leg. That's exactly the type of tackle that could re-aggravate that injury. 3rd down and 3 now. Blanchard back to throw. Has his man, Antonio Jackson. He's got enough for a first down. Gain of 7 on the play.
Jackson that time just kind of sat patiently on a little curl route inside. Jimmy Blanchard dropped back and had nice vision, put it right in there.
For the first time in a while, Portland State seems to be getting into a rhythm.
Yeah, they do, and I think, again, you can see how they're doing it. It's mostly throwing the ball right now.
3 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen. Jimmy Blanchard sees something. He is changing the play. Throws the little screen out to Bryant, and he gets taken down behind the line. Great tackle made by Tony Brown.
Boy, Tony did a nice job avoiding the block. He actually had a blocker in front of him. Try to catch it here on the replay. He actually sidestepped the block. Watch this. Nice job. It makes a clutch tackle out there, else that was some positive yardage.
Great shot there. Illustrates your point perfectly. Makes it 2nd down and 12. A loss of 2 on the last play. Blanchard again sees something. He's going to change the play again. Drops back, and he gets buried by Andy Pedic. I don't think that he changed the play to the sack.
Well, they had single coverage on the outside. I think he read that and kind of called the play deep that time. You know, early in the first half, there were so many times Montana had a sack and didn't get it. Jimmy was able to sidestep, but that time Pedic just planted him. Right
up the middle. That's his 12th sack this season, a team high. Also contending for the conference lead as Andy Pedic continues to impress. He has just played phenomenal this year. Probably been the star so far on defense. Although you could pick a lot of guys. You could get an argument there, but he has certainly played well. 3rd down and 19 after the sack. Blanchard back to throw. The blitz is on. He's pressured again. Just throws this one away as Dave DeCoit putting on the pressure brings Jimmy Blanchard down. And the Grizzly defense bend but don't break.
They've played awfully well today. Just, I'm sure, frustrating Jimmy Blanchard, who's a all-league type quarterback.
You can actually hear some of the Grizzly fans. There's a great look at them saluting their defense. Of course, great football fans in Montana. They know when to reward their defense for good play. Michael Westbrook back again. Dan France gets ready to punt at his own 26-yard line. Gets it off, bad-looking punt. And it goes down to the 39-yard line where it is touched up by Portland State. And that's where the Grizzlies will have it. Bad punt.
Well, those are the kind of punts you worry about because they may touch a return man who's going down to make a block, but evidently didn't that time.
Grizzlies will get the ball back. They are up 27-14. Stay tuned. Welcome back, the Montana fans who have made the trip, a lot of them. Pretty pleased at this point in the third quarter with just over 8 minutes remaining. Montana leads 27-14, and they come back out. They will have the ball at their own 39-yard line. Johansi Humphrey in the backfield. 3 wide receivers to the top of the screen. Tanner Hancock in motion. Little delay, they give it to Yo, who carries the load, gets about 7, maybe 8 on the play. And that's huge on first down when you can get a big chunk of yardage.
Yeah, little draw play, simulate pass, and then hand it off, and he does the rest. What a great back.
Great blocks made there. John Skinner, you see big John Skinner. Just a freshman, but he is a mammoth down there. Johansi Humphrey now over 100 yards with that carry. 19 carries, 106 yards. It's well over a 5-yard average. As they give it to Yo again. Again, squeezes up the middle. Gets the first down on a 2nd down and 3. Gets a gain of 6.
And you got to know they're going to stay with that. They're going to run the clock. I think Montana would love a score here before the third quarter goes out because of the wind factor. With only a less than 2 touchdown lead with this kind of wind and a quarterback like Jimmy Blanchard and receivers that he has, 2 touchdowns is not, maybe not enough.
First down and 10. Portland State's 48-yard line. John Edwards hands it to Yo. Not a whole lot of room, but he makes the most out of kind of a little bit of a broken play. Still gains 4 yards.
Keeps it in bounds, keeps the clock running. You get a sense that the Portland State defense realizes they need to come up with a big stop on this series. You know what? The nice play that he does here is he doesn't get out of bounds. He's smart enough to get down in the field of play and let the clock continue to run.
Right now, for Montana fans, the clock cannot go fast enough as Yo takes a little bit of a break now. Talking to Harvey Patton, Ben Drinkwalter in there now. Edwards back to throw. He's going deep, looking for Atu Molden, overthrown. And that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Well, I think the wind, again, they wanted to use it maybe in their favor on that play. And Atu showed excellent separation here at the end of the play where he tried to break to the outside, but the wind gusting just kind of overthrew the outside shoulder.
Wide open, would have been 6. Just take a little bit off of that, but the wind is extremely stiff here, and it is at the backs of the Montana Grizzlies. 3rd down and 7 now. Edwards back to throw. Has time. It's breaking down a little bit. He's going to run it. And he's going to be about 2 yards short of the first down. About a yard. He's not that far away.
Well, D'Angelo Hunter, number 1 here in your screen at the top, just is an excellent defensive end. Watch him chase the play, and even though he didn't make the tackle, he made John have to get down early. He's a great defensive end.
It's a 4th down and 2, and it looks like the Grizzlies are going to go for it. They got to get the play in, though. The play clock down to 14, and John Edwards just takes a timeout, and they're going to discuss this a little bit. But on 4th down and 2, we'll be back. Big play for the Grizzlies as they try to cling to their 13-point lead. Welcome back. The Grizzlies on 4th and 2. They've decided now to punt it and try to play defense, also try to pin the Vikings. Mike Reedy Gets it off. And this one's pretty good. It goes out of bounds at the 4-yard line as Mike Reedy able to pooch it down there. And now it looks like great strategy. Back Portland State up with 5:28 left. They're still trying to go into the wind. Good chance to play field position.
Well, as our statistician Dave Guffey, who's done a great job all day, pointed out, with the wind in their face, probably a good decision to punt it with 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
So the Grizz defense now will try to hold Portland State deep into their own territory. Portland State trying to get back into this game, down 13. And with Jimmy Blanchard at the helm, still very much in doubt. What's not in doubt is their run defense. Just been fantastic. That's Tyler Martin on the stop of Chip Dunn.
Tyler's had a great day. You know, Montana's defense has really done a good job because Charles Dunn, as I mentioned a few times today, is just a wonderful back. And for him to not have more yards is a compliment to the Montana defense. But again, he's the kind of athlete, every time he touches the ball, he can go all the way.
See there, Florence shutting out Eureka. Cut bank over Wolf Point in Class B playoff action. 2nd down and 9. Blanchard back to throw, has time, has his man Orshwante Bryant deep, and he is going all the way. He's got one man to beat, and Calvin Coleman brings him down, but a huge play for Portland State.
Well, I mentioned a little bit ago, Grayson, that 2 touchdowns or 13 points is not enough to sit on, especially against a great team, and Portland State is a great team.
Shwante Bryant getting behind the defenders. And if it's not for Calvin Coleman's great speed, he goes all the way. So the Grizz defense now, the task is a little bit different. Just try to hold them to 3 as the Portland State Vikings just bust out for an 81-yard play, and they are now at the Montana Grizzlies' 14-yard line. They give it to Dunn, and he gets stacked up. Nothing there. He gets 2 yards, and that's it.
Well, they've not gone away from the run. You know, a lot of coaching staffs would be frustrated and would just go pass, but I think it speaks to their intelligence, too, that they're staying with some run here.
So that's going to bring up 2nd down and 8 from the 12-yard line as the Grizzlies now try to just hold Portland State to a field goal. Portland State, the fans and everyone now very much gotten back into this game, and there's plenty of time. Just under 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Blanchard, little play action. Looking for his man Bryant. He's got him, and Bryant gets into the end zone. Gets a huge block from Terry Charles, and that's a touchdown for Portland State.
Oh, we saw that play earlier, and Montana recognized what was happening here as the play developed. You can see Tyler Martin raising his hands, talking to the official, but a little play action away, bootleg, roll out, and then they got some men out blocking in front, and he does an excellent job. Right there is a great block. That sealed the deal.
Terry Charles ended up blocking 3 guys.
Like he's bowling.
Got run over, but he got in the way of 3 guys, and that allowed Bryant to get in. And this game is now dangerously close. As the kick is up and good, and Portland State has now pulled to within 6 points as they have found their big play, and now the Grizzlies, they are in some trouble. They're going to need to run the ball and take off some time off the clock, but they need to score more points, it looks like.
Well, Portland State's sensing it a little bit here. They weren't quitting. I mentioned they're still running the ball a little bit. The run sets up the pass. They come with a bootleg and execute beautifully. No, this game's far from over.
Terry Charles, he's not been a big factor catching the ball, but he was able to get the big block to spring the touchdown there, doing the little things it takes to be successful. Now the Montana Grizzlies, they'll try to look for something. Of course, the kick return team comes out. They started the game against Northern Arizona with a huge return last week, and I think nothing would be better right now for Joe Glenn and his team than a nice long return by either Tanner Hancock or Atu Molden. or pardon me, I believe it's Michael Westbrook who's back deep now for Atu Molden.
Well, with 3 minutes and 37 seconds until the quarter's over, there's plenty of time for the offense to use the wind to their advantage.
And that is Atu Molden back deep along with Tanner Hancock to receive this kickoff. 3:37 left in the third quarter. It's a squib kick again as they try to go to Ike Mincy, who bobbled one earlier. And there's a flag down on the play, perhaps saying that Mincy never touched it.
Interesting to see what this call is. That is what it is, and it means he didn't touch the ball. They kicked it out of bounds, which is a penalty, and Montana will have a choice here to take a re-kick or a better field position than where it went out.
Now they're saying that it never touched Ike Mincy and that it went out of bounds, which would give the Grizzlies the ball at the 35. They're discussing it some more.
Well, you see Joe Glenn over there. He's helping him. Not that he's in the conversation, but he's got his ear in the huddle.
Here comes the call, and that is what they're saying. So the Grizzlies will take it at the 35-yard line. And there's a shot of Charles Dunn, and you look down low on his leg. It's covered up there by his lineman, but you look at his right leg, heavily taped, looks like it's being iced. We'll have to see if he returns to the game. That'd be a huge blow as Portland State tries to come back. But right now, the fans into this one, yelling and screaming. As Montana takes over on their own 31, it looks like. Oh no, Ben Drinkwalter on the handoff, fumbles the ball, and the Grizzlies retain possession. Drinkwalter able to jump back on it, but that could have been a disaster.
Now they're still running the ball themselves, trying to establish play, setting up the pass as well. See what happens here if somebody gets in. Yeah, he's stripped on the way down.
It just squirts out, but Ben is able to jump back on it. Gets 1 yard on the play, brings up 2nd down and 9 as Johansi Humphrey returns to the lineup now in at tailback. 3 wide receivers to the top of the screen. Edwards going back to throw the screen pass, but that one is just swallowed up by a couple of Portland State defenders. Couple of guys, Marcus Green on the play along with Tamani Joyner.
Now a little slip screen underneath. They stack 3 receivers at the top of your picture, trying to have the defense adjust, but the linebacker reads this immediately, comes up and fills.
And they lose a couple of yards on that play, so now a little bit of a danger zone here. 3rd down and 12 for the Grizzlies. 2:26 and running in the third quarter, and momentum clearly on Portland State's side as the crowd really getting into it now. Edwards back to pass, blitz coming, he doesn't have much time, airs it out, floats out of bounds, and that's going to bring up 4th down. The Grizzlies are going to have to punt.
Well, the only good news on this one is that they get to punt with the wind at their back, but Portland State, give them a lot of credit, did an excellent job on defense.
As you can see there, Joyner coming on the safety blitz. Edwards able to get it away, but not able to do anything with it. Mike Reedy now back to punt. Gets it off. Pretty good kick. Backs up Rashad Floyd. He's going to have a chance to return this. Looking for some room. Doesn't get any. There's a flag down on the play, though, and I believe this is going to be a face mask.
That'll be a nice break for Portland State as they'll be able to advance off the face mask penalty.
Boy, and right now you can really sense it here. The momentum has really shifted. And Portland State, as you take a look at the call there, that's going to be the 15-yard penalty. As you take a look, is Brad Weston. Well, it looked like he got a hold and it came off. In the second half, John Edwards only 2 of 6 for -1 yard. Blanchard 5 of 6, 129 yards and a touchdown. Joe Glenn very upset about that call. Nonetheless, the defense really has to reassert themselves here. They hand it off to Chip Dunn. He gets a big hole, and he makes his way out over the 50-yard line to the 45 of the Grizzlies. Clearly his longest run of the day.
Well, we talked about what an excellent athlete that he is. Just kind of a time bomb waiting to explode. And here's one of his explosions. Watch as he breaks the line here. Just kind of turns it on, runs away from people.
17 yards on the carry, brings up first down and 10 from the Grizzlies' 45-yard line. Blanchard hands it off to Dunn again. This time wrapped up by Adam Boomer, gain of maybe a yard.
Montana's defense ranked #1 in the conference. I don't expect them to panic, Grayson. They're a good enough team that they'll settle down here and play some good defense. So with 1:22 in the quarter, see if they can stiffen a little bit.
Dunn, 18 carries for 53 yards. So he has not had a whole lot of room today. As you see, 1 minute and counting left in the third quarter. Second down and 9. They give it to Dunn again, and he gets stopped well behind the line of scrimmage this time by Andy Pedic.
Well, we talked about adjustments, coming out of halftime, and Portland State really adjusted with pass. Now they're coming back with run, trying to show run, and I think they're going to need to throw the ball, but now the odds tilt a little bit in Montana's favor because it's 3rd and long.
It's 3rd down and 13 now. It's the Grizz defense trying to come up with a big stop and preserve their 27-21 lead. Blanchard back to throw. He's got plenty of time. It's breaking down, though, and Andy Pedic gets him and almost forces the fumble, but he brings him down. That's going to bring up 4th down now, and the defense comes up huge.
Andy with excellent closing speed that time. Shed his blocker. He just did a wonderful job to come off the contain. Watch him here. Top of your screen. He's being worked on by number 60. Comes underneath and just keeps hustling.
Oh, and the ball actually did come out, but Blanchard recovered. There's a discussion going on the field with the officials.
Well, they might have wanted to let the clock run out so they could use the wind to punt, but Montana may have taken a timeout to let the wind be in their advantage here. I think that's what we'll see what they talk about. Resetting the clock with extra time.
They put 4 more seconds on the clock. So this punt will once again go into the wind. Michael Westbrook hasn't had a whole lot of chances to return these punts because they've been short due to the wind. Grizzlies hoping to get some good field position, and Portland State, they came out, had that long run by Dunn, but after that the Grizzly defense reasserting themselves and at least slowing down some of the Vikings' momentum. France back to punt at his own 26, gets it off, hangs up in the wind a little bit. Michael Westbrook's going to return this one. He doesn't get a whole lot out of it, though. He gets taken down at the 24-yard line. A penalty flags come flying in, and this one could be a face mask.
Yeah, it definitely was, and that looks like a 15-yard variety. That'll really help Montana here as the fourth quarter starts.
That's going to move them into great field goal position, as that is the end of the third quarter. Time runs out. The officials, again, discussing something. Don't know exactly what here.
Well, they may re-kick the punt. I'm not sure if they will, or you think they'd tack it on after the... we'll see what they call.
Well, the mic has gone out on the official. We'll apologize for that. But at the end of the third quarter, Montana on top, 27-21.